creek. Walk 'em up and down in the summer heat. Same old boy changing like the seasons. Country kid turning to a town right heathen. Country kid turning to a town right heathen.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Old Man Van Running. Here again in the Old Man Van Cave, the Old Man Van Castle. Today I'm going to give you another First Impressions review. Now, the shoe I'm going to review here is one of the current trend of super trainers. Those include the New Balance Super Comp series, the Asics Superblast series, the Hoka Skyward X. But today, I'm going to review the MIZUNO Neo Vista. This is a pretty interesting and what I think is innovative shoe. The way the upper is constructed, also it's plated with a nylon plate, not a carbon plate. It's over 40 millimeters of stack height. It's a really interesting shoe. I heard it was a stable neutral shoe, so as a stability runner, that really piqued my interest. And then one of my viewers suggested that I test this shoe out. But before I do that, a couple of things. If you like this video, please hit the thumbs up button. If you haven't subscribed already, please hit the subscribe button and that notification bell so you'll get notified when more videos are posted. Comments. Any and all comments really do help the channel. And as always, if you have friends, running pals, acquaintances, coworkers, family members that you feel might like the Old Man Van Running channel, please let them know. So before we get into the details, let's get out on the trail and see how the Neo Vista performed.
Hey everybody. So this is a very easy mid 9 to 10 run here in the MIZUNO Neo Vistas. Second run back after having a short illness here this past week. Shoes are very stable neutral. Not quite as stable as the Asics Superblast 2, but still stable enough for me. Question's going to be, can I do long runs in them? But the cushioning softer than the Superblast 2, but it's not too soft. Might be just a tad softer than I like. I really like the Superblast 2's cushioning, but it's tolerable. And there's a little plate in there. Does help keep it stiff enough so it doesn't get too soft. So really good so far.
So we're back. The MIZUNO Neo Vista made some positive impressions out there, but before we get into the nitty-gritty details, let's get into the numbers. First of all, price, $180 US. So now it's starting to creep up there, right? Generally, stability training shoes or daily trainers around the 140 to 160 price range. Now we're getting into these super trainers, right? We're getting up closer to those super duper carbon fiber racing shoe prices. So $180, the Superblast from Asics is even a little more expensive than that. So I think this price is a relatively good price here, but it's still pricey nonetheless. If the shoe is durable and versatile enough, that won't be such a big deal. Now getting into weight. At a men's size 9, this is 9.4 ounces or 266 grams. And for a women's size 8, we're at 7.8 ounces and 221 grams. Now that's pretty light for a daily trainer, and especially for a daily trainer that's max stack, max cushion. Now speaking of that stack height, we're above the legal maximum of 40 millimeters in the heel. We're at 44.5 millimeters in the rear foot and 36.5 millimeters in the forefoot for that magical, as you know from Old Man Van Running, 8 millimeter heel to toe drop. So that's a lot of midsole material underfoot, right? So keeping that weight down is really impressive. Also having that nylon plate sandwiched in there, pretty darn good with the weight and the amount of cushioning and midsole material there. Now moving into construction, the upper is pretty innovative in the Neo Vista. Here you have a full knit upper, very soft, but it's not the thinnest upper out there. I'm going to tell you right now, it's not the thinnest upper. It does have perforations. The question as to whether how breathable it is. I didn't notice any big issues out there as far as overheating, but it's a little bit thicker than, say, the Superblast and some of the other super shoes. But I didn't notice it overheating too much out there, so it seems to breathe well enough. But it is a little bit thicker than what I'm used to. But it is a little bit thicker than what you typically see in these kind of super shoes. There's really nothing in the way of overlays at all. This is a neutral shoe, albeit a stable neutral shoe. You have the Mizuno logo right here. That's pretty much it. You have a little reinforcement around the top of the eyelets. Not so much here. It's more woven reinforcement. Nothing really in the rear foot here. It's just a full knit upper without any additional structural elements. Now getting into some of the real innovative parts of this. First of all, your tongue. Your tongue right here, it is actually part of the upper. It's not a gusseted tongue. It's not a non-gusseted tongue. It's one piece. It's just an extension of the upper. Very, very stretchy on this tongue here. Almost like a booty feel around your foot. And that moves into the heel and ankle collar here. The heel and ankle collar, and let me get these laces out. The heel and ankle collar, really no padding there whatsoever. It's just very, very stretchy material. You see the heel goes way up over your Achilles, but it kind of fits on just like a glove. I didn't have any issues in the heel here, even without the padding around the heel and ankle collar, because it's such stretchy material. I didn't feel any issues there. This fits on your foot kind of like a booty. I didn't notice any issues around my ankles, over the top of my foot, in my heel, no heel rub whatsoever. It just kind of molds around your foot as a glove. And I actually kind of liked it. I was a little worried at first, thought it might be hard to get on, but it wasn't. And my foot felt very secure, but very comfortable at the same time. There's no heel counter here, no structure whatsoever in the heel counter. Very, very flexible, but because of the way it's designed, kind of like a booty, had no issues whatsoever. Didn't feel like there was any roll in or out with my heel because of that. No issues. The design of this, it saves a lot of weight not having that structure in the heel counter. Really interesting, and no issues so far with the fit of this shoe. No issues with the lacing. The laces, again, are flat, not too stretchy. Had no issues locking it down over the top of my foot. Even though there's no padding here in that tongue, no issues whatsoever. It's flexible enough. There's this little reinforced area right here where you can cinch the laces over. That prevents it from putting too much pressure on the top of your feet. So a good little addition there without the padding in the tongue to keep it comfortable over the top of your foot. I got a very good lockdown, no issues. The sock liner is removable in there. So if you need to wear like orthotics or whatever, you could do that, or custom insoles. So that's good to have that flexibility. Fit-wise, more than enough room in the forefoot, very flexible upper. I felt it was true to size in the forefoot. No issues with rubbing or anything. I felt no rubbing whatsoever. You really don't even have any reinforcement around the toe box. So issues I had in, say, the Asics Gel Kayano 30, no issues here whatsoever in this shoe because it's not there at all. It's just that upper. So feels real comfortable, wasn't too spacious, wasn't too snug. Midfoot felt really good. Just overall, a very good sock-like fit. Now to this midsole. A big, big slab of midsole material. This is Mizuno's Energy or Energy NXT midsole material. It's soft. It's very soft, but it's resilient. It's softer than the foam in the Superblast, and when you first step into the shoe, it kind of worries you that it's going to be a little wallowy when you get out there, a little marshmallowy. Now with all that midsole material, you see this wave plate, this nylon wave plate that's sandwiched in between those two layers of midsole material. That's really, really cool because With that cushioning there, that kind of stiffens it up a little bit. What else it does is kind of stiffen it up, spread the force when you hit. So it provides a more stable ride, even though this is a neutral shoe. Also with this midsole is kind of their speed assist geometry. You see the bevel in the rear foot here. It kind of promotes more of a midfoot strike, and then you've got this nice rocker in the forefoot. I'm going to tell you, I am generally a heel striker, not a horrible heel striker, but I generally hit right here in my heel. I didn't find that there was any issues running at a slower pace in this shoe. I did feel it was relatively smooth. I didn't notice that it was causing a problem being a heel striker versus a midfoot striker, but I did feel that it did kind of push me more towards a midfoot strike. It was very smooth, so no issues there. And again, that cushioning, it's substantial, but as you're running, you do get some bounce back on there, so it does have responsiveness. It doesn't wallow out. It actually feels pretty lively, to be honest, versus just marshmallowy, soft kind of stuff. It is, however, a bit softer than the Superblast 2. So when we get to the Superblast, I'll talk about that. So I won't tell you right now what my preference is, but it's a little bit different. I guess for me, the biggest question with these midsoles, these very soft midsoles, is, you know, they're soft, they're supposed to kind of help your legs stay refreshed and everything, but we're kind of walking that thin line between being too soft and not providing enough structure. But my biggest concern is, are we approaching that point where you have too much cushioning that it actually creates issues later in a run, you know, because your foot is not working its muscles to support you as much. So jury's a little out for me as to the benefit, the true benefit of so much cushioning. That being said, the cushioning in the Neo Vista isn't overdone, even with that massive stack height. Outsole, plenty of rubber all the way around that outsole, the entire perimeter. It's pretty soft though, so the jury's going to be out as to how durable that is. It's very soft for that matter. It's not tremendously thick there, so it's really going to be interesting to see how durable that is. But with that bevel, it might help a little bit with that heel striking where I get a lot of wear right there in the corner, but we shall see. But at $180, you should expect your outsole to be very durable. Stability-wise, this is a stable neutral shoe is the way I would classify it. I am a mild to moderate pronator, and I felt that this shoe was stable enough that I could use it on most of my runs. I don't feel it's as stable as the Superblast series, right? But it was stable enough. More stable than I thought it would be considering that extreme stack height. The wide base definitely helps with this. You can see how wide it is in the forefoot, the flare there on both sides. You can see how wide it is in the rear foot. So it's a very solid planted base. Again, the way this groove here with the wave plate is such so that when you're hitting the ground, pushes the forces outward, which creates a stable landing. I never once felt that I was rolling in. It felt stable enough, just not as stable as maybe the Superblast 2. Performance. I was pretty impressed with the performance. I haven't taken it out on a real fast run. I've taken it out on 2 runs. Obviously, my run yesterday was pretty easy, that 6-miler. I did take it on a little bit more up-tempo run a couple weeks back. And I'll tell you that, you know, initially you get out there and you're like, well, it just feels soft. But then as you pick up the pace, it kind of stiffens up a bit. You've got a nice roll through with that bevel and that rocker, so it feels real good there. It's light enough, and there's some bounce to it. It's a lively feeling midsole, I will say that. I was surprised. I didn't expect it to be as lively as it is. There is a little bit of bounce. That wave plate provides a little bit of stiffness and a little bit of rebound. I do feel this shoe could be similar in usage to the Superblast, meaning a versatile daily trainer that you can take from short to long miles, pick up the pace, run slow, do a variety of runs in so you don't need like 4 different running shoes. The only caveat is personally, for some of those shorter daily training miles, I like to have a little bit firmer of a shoe for those days. Comfort, great comfort, true to size, love the cushioning, feels great on the foot, no hot spots, nothing anywhere that I can complain about, no heel rub, great lockdown, Everything just feels really good. The upper, although it's that full knit upper, might be a little thick, didn't have any issues, didn't feel like it was too hot on the foot, but as I get more runs this summer in it, maybe that'll change. Lastly, value. Again, with these softer midsoles, the question is how well they hold up over time. And also this outsole, is this outsole going to be durable? Again, very, very soft rubber here. So that remains to be seen. Other than that, I think it's a decent value for what you're getting. You're getting close to a super duper carbon fiber racing shoe at a lower price. So if this shoe lasts, if it's durable, if it's as versatile as they say it is, then the $180 in my estimation will be worth it. That brings me to my initial rating. I'm going to give the Mizuno Neo Vista an initial rating of 9.4 out of 10. Why not a 9.5 or higher? Couple of things. First of all is that outsole. It's pretty soft. I'm not sure how durable that's going to be. Second is I'm still getting used to that extreme amount of cushioning there, and it's not quite as stable as the Superblast 2. So for those things, I'm just taking it down just a tad. But the more I run in this shoe, the more I'm liking it. So there may be some room for improvement in this score, but great score out of the box. My first Mizuno shoe. I'm pretty impressed. Thanks to the viewer that recommended that I purchase this shoe and I review it. I'll be doing the Superblast 2 review here coming up pretty soon. Also, the Hoka Skyward X. I also have that shoe and will be doing a review on that. And I also have the Brooks Hyperion Max 2 to review. So thanks for your support. Thanks for watching this video. And remember, lace up those shoes and let's get out on the roads.
Railroad tracks run along the creek, walk 'em up and down in the summer heat. Same old boy changing like the seasons, country kid turning to a town right heathen.